Hello travelers, Tara here, and this is going to be our first open reading for January 2018. For those of you who have been emailing me saying you haven't heard anything from me and wanting to know if I was okay, I am okay. I just needed to take a break. I busted my behind for all of 2017 and I just needed a break. You know, if I'm not energized or refreshed or grounded, then I can't continue the work that I do. So I appreciate those of you who've emailed me and have been inquiring about whether I was okay. I really appreciate that. So with that being said, there have been some changes to the website. I don't know if any of you have been over. I will be resuming this weekend with the Transit Watch as well as the newsletter. I'm going to be bringing you I think I'm going to be bringing you a special for the eclipse that's going to be occurring. I think it's at the end of this month, January 13th. It's a minor eclipse, but an eclipse is still an eclipse. Okay. And for those of you who have not visited the website, you can simply click on any of the little eyes that pop up during the video, and that'll take you directly over. You can also sign up for the free newsletter. There are 3 levels of membership. You can go over and take a look at anything. I will no longer be providing readings by phone. I'm only going to be doing those by video, okay? And the videos are great because you get to, once I conduct the reading, you get to download that video and save it. It is yours to keep. So that's a great way to, if you've paid for it, to see how things are going to play out for the month or your situation for the next couple of weeks. Like that. So with that being said, I'm going to bring you an open reading right now with the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. I'm not exactly sure if I'll be clarifying with which deck of Sibila cards. I'll just have to see what my guides tell me. And we'll be closing this reading out with an angel answer card. So be ready to formulate your question for the angel answer. As I was shuffling, 2 cards presented themselves. They are the 4 of Cups and the King of Cups. Okay. So, for website members, both galleries are posted up, the individuals and the romance gallery. I know you guys probably are not quite sure what's going on with that Tarot of Sexual Magic, but trust me, there's a lot of information contained in those readings. I know it's difficult when you're used to a particular deck and then, you know, somebody switches up a deck on you and you're not exactly sure what you're looking at. But anyway, I am in the midst of finishing up a new astrology video for the astrology gallery. I had to do a PowerPoint presentation, so it's just trying to put it all together. So just kind of bear with me. I've got some things coming for you. Okay. Now, the rest of the cards, we have 4 of Cups, King of Cups, and the Lovers. The 6 of Swords. The Queen of Pentacles. The Tower, the Ace of Wands, the 6 of Wands, and the 9, wow, of Cups. That is not a bad spread here. Now, do keep in mind that this is general, and in order for me, for you to gain any clarity or insight into your situation does require a personal reading. Again, you can simply click on the little eyes that show up throughout the video. That'll take you directly over to the website for booking. You can also find my email address in the About Box section of the channel. Let's see. I only have 1 major arcana card here. And I have 1, 2, 3 cups, 2 wands, a swords, and a pentacle card. All right. Now, underneath the deck, I have the Page of Pentacles. I feel that for some of you, what I'm looking at here, past, present, future, interplay of the cards, is that some of you may have been, to me, the cups simply speak to emotions, right? They can talk about love, but basically they speak about emotions. It's that water energy. And I think what I'm looking at for some of you is this idea, this concept of coming from a place where perhaps you're not pleased or excited or not exactly sure how you feel about what you've come through, what you've gone through 2017, right? And you're kind of at a place where perhaps maybe you feel not apathetic, but just, not quite certain about what direction you choose to go in. And, basically the truth of the matter is that we should ostensibly, at the end of every year, look it over, that previous year that we're leaving, and decide, what has occurred, what did we not like, what did we like, what would we like to get rid of, what would we like to try something new or move forward with something new. And that's always a good idea, to kind of review the year as you move into the new one. And I feel that for some of you, you have been reviewing and you've been able to move away from certain things, if not on a physical level, then at least mentally, you've been able to shed some things that, even if this was just, a bunch of heavy negative energy, that you are getting to a place where you are able to kind of move away from that. And leave some things behind. This Six of Swords here, and I'm reading the past vertical row. And I have this Ace of Wands at the end of this row. So I do feel that many of you have overcome some tough emotional times. I think that many of you have perhaps overcome some negative thinking or situations in which perhaps maybe you felt that life just wasn't treating you fair. Okay, but then recognizing that sometimes that's just the way life is. It's neither punishment nor reward. And you have gotten a new, if not new fire in your belly, then you've gotten a new, or let's say your second wind, where you're ready to move into 2018 with that fighting spirit. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, down the center, present row, I could be dealing with a water sign male and an earth sign female, okay? But I could also be dealing with the idea or the concept as an energy of advice, this King of Cups, money. We do have Pluto in Capricorn, and that, we've got some transits coming up here pretty soon across the sign of Taurus, and that rules our personal finances. Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn rules governmental changes on a regional scale, on a local scale, on a countrywide scale, on an international scale. So for some of you, this could be the idea or the concept of getting good advice, financial advice, so that you can shore things up. Here, I do have this Six of Wands. This is the eagle of Jupiter. Now, at the same time, we know that Jupiter, well, maybe you don't know, but at the same time, Jupiter has been in the sign of Scorpio and will be there until November 2019. And the 8th house, which is the house that Scorpio rules, is about other people's money. It's about their resources. So this is about 401ks, lotto payouts, insurance payouts, mortgages, loans, those things that you share in partnership with other people. So say, for instance, some of you might be financial advisors and you've got a lot of people, we've got a lot of changes going on with the stock market and regulations being changed, and people are now coming to you for the kind of advice that they need so they can kind of shore their things up. The Six of Wands here, this Jupiter energy, is about those opportunities that come to you, but it's also about having the discernment to know which of those opportunities are going to really, in the long run, quote unquote, pay out for you. Now, here on the future vertical column, I have the Lovers, and the Lovers card is not always about lovers. It is about that choice that we have between head and heart. It is about union. It is about cooperation. It is about understanding and the choices that you have to make. And do I follow my head on this or do I follow my heart? And I always say that if you follow your heart, you will never go wrong. Now, does that not mean that doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes when we do that, or that things don't bode out well for us sometimes? But typically, if you're coming from a heartfelt space, things tend to balance themselves out in the end, right? Now, across the top, I feel that perhaps some of you have what I'm dealing with is some kind of stagnant situation and a choice that you have to make about this water king, whether you are same-sex or heterosexual, male or female, whomever's going to take the role of the male. And I feel that perhaps for some of you, you've been waiting for either this water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, male, or this particular someone to come in and say something to you so that you can make, quote unquote, the correct choice, lovers. Okay, you know, I'm torn between what my head tells me and what my heart tells me. Now, this Six of Swords comes in to say that in one respect, for those of you who may have been waiting and it hasn't really changed, you are actually kind of moving through that. And you are gaining some level of grounded energy, right? But then here's this Tower. And the Tower card speaks to unexpected changes, things happening out of the blue. Sometimes these things are good. Sometimes these things are bad. Sometimes it could be that you lose your job suddenly. You get handed. You go to work one day. You get there, and they tell you, you no longer have a job here. You're like, oh hell, what the hell? And then the next thing you know, you end up finding a better situation, right? So it's not always something bad. And the key to the Tower card is to recognize that even if something does go wrong, it is because it was never on a solid foundation in the first place. And I honestly feel that this Queen of Pentacles is reading more like that idea of being grounded, of grounding yourself. Some of you are going to have to ground yourselves because something unexpected is going to be coming. But even still, what I'm looking at across this future horizontal row is the idea, the concept that this is a whole new way of doing something for you. It is a whole new opportunity. The 2 6s speak to, let me make sure I get this right for you, because I can never remember the 2 6s. I always confuse it with something else. And I'm going to take a look at this 6 of Wands here. Two 6s speak of justifiable faith and trust in your partner. So as I was saying, some of you maybe haven't heard what you needed to hear from this King of Cups, and maybe if you're the King of Cups, you haven't heard what you needed to hear from this Queen of Pentacles. But the 6 of Wands says that regardless of whatever upheaval or changes or discordant energy has come about, the possibility of the two of you being able to come to some type of agreement or moving through that time frame is very much plausible. It ends with the 9 of Cups. That's the wish card in any deck. It doesn't matter what deck you're looking at. The overall energy here is this Page of Pentacles, and I still say that this is all about that grounded kind of energy. Now, Uranus, which is the Tower card, is moving into the last stages of being in Aries, and it will be changing signs here into Taurus. I want to say in May. It might be April of 2018. And so this could be another reason why the card is asking you to move more into a more stable situation independently of anyone else, because there will be some changes coming up here. Okay? Unavoidable changes. And so we can't always prevent the worst from happening, but what we can try to do is to mitigate the damage, right? That doesn't mean we're going to plan everything perfectly, but what is the worst case scenario? And are we, are we prepared to, are we in a position to where we can work ourselves through, or at least kind of coast through that particular area? I do sense that whatever this Tower card represents here, that ultimately it turns out to be the same. So the Page of Pentacles to me is also speaking about some kind of perhaps financial news, but it also speaks to doing your research. Okay, and Scorpio is known for that. That's the mark of people who, researchers, psychologists, counselors, detectives. So it is also about making sure that you do the homework. It's not just about finances, but it's about actually doing something. Okay, it's the physicality of the work. Now, let me give you this other interpretation of the 2 6s. And I do feel that for some of you, if this is about a relationship, that there is going to be a sudden split and coming of this relationship. The Lovers or Tower, but it's still going to end up okay for you. You know, sometimes we fear the worst. It is what our imaginations come up with that's sometimes worse than what the truth of the situation is, right? 2 6s speak to issues surrounding equality may affect the relationship. And if that's the case, well, it's telling you that that relationship is not based on anything solid for the simple standpoint that one of you or both of you feel less than, or however, or being treated less than in a particular situation. Now, what I want to do is, I have 2 major arcana here. I didn't see that. I want to take a look at, the only thing I can look at really is the 6 of Swords next to the Lovers, the 4 of Cups next to the Tower, perhaps the 6 of Wands touching upon this Tower card, and then this 9 of Cups with the Lovers and or the Tower card, okay? Because right in the center is our Queen of Pentacles. And then I will read to you the meanings of these particular cards, and this may help you some. So let's take a look first at this 4 of Cups, because it touches on the Tower card, okay? Because this could be the sudden awakening, and that's really what it looks like. A 4 of Cups. Oh man, I haven't been excited about anything, and then suddenly something comes in out of the blue to change all of that. Okay, it tells me nothing, nor being next to the Lovers. So I'm going to move to the 6 of Swords to see what it has to say. If it is has any meaning next to and it tells me nothing. Now, in one respect, I can look at this ace like a 10 because it's a 1 card, and all 1s and all 10s, all aces are related to the 10s, which are also related to the Magician, which are also related to the Wheel of Fortune, which is the Sagittarius card or the Jupiter card. Remember, I was talking to you about that 6 of Wands, Jupiterian energy. Okay. And so I'm going to give you this, but and what it's saying is after a 10 after the 6. So we're going to in effect look at this ace like a 10 because it tells us that something has changed. And for some of you, this is quite out of the blue. It says it's an indication of travel, a journey, a vacation or holiday, or even a change of residence. It may involve a major decision which will ultimately lead to movement of some kind. It is a message to look carefully at all aspects of a situation, as there may be some hidden traps or pitfalls, and to look for unnecessary expenditures. There's the Tower. Now, let's look at the 6 of Wands and to see what it tells us. Tells us nothing. Now I'm going to look at the 9 of Cups. And no matter what the situation, no matter how perhaps dire the situation looks, it appears as though there's going to be a sudden change, quote unquote, of heart, or a sudden change in the structure of something. Something changes quite out of the blue. And then, like as I said, I will read to you the meanings of the cards here, and this may help some of you. I do feel that for some of you, this could be the sudden now it says surrounded by major arcana cards. Okay, it is implying, and it's not surrounded, but it, you know, it says it implies that your wishes will come to positive fruition. It is a message that plans are materializing as you wish them to, and your hard work is paying off. It is an indication of how your success will come about. So for some of you, your success will come about through the choice that you make, perhaps through a relationship, one that disintegrates quite suddenly out of the blue. And this relationship may not be a romantic relationship. It could be, like I said, the loss of a job, the loss of a home. But sometimes we don't look at things like that when really what's happening is the universe is trying to show us a different way to be free. Okay? So now let's look at this, at these cards here. Because that's really what Uranian energy is all about. It's about liberation. It is about freedom that comes through unexpected ideas or unexpected events, rebellion. But it's offering you a freedom that you've never known before, to throw off all of those old shackles that you've had before, those ones that have been keeping you tied down and confused as to which direction are you supposed to go in. So it really depends on how you look at, you know, everything. So let's look at the Four of Cups first. Does that mean that, you know, you won't be going through some kind of tough time? No, it doesn't mean that. And it is really the measure of how disciplined can you be, or are you willing to be, in order to move through that particular situation. The Four of Cups. Something important is missing from your life, but you are unable to determine what it is. You have withdrawn emotionally, waiting in a sea of uncertainty. And for some of you, this really is surrounding a male water sign figure. Okay. King of Cups. If a person, this denotes a kind man, possibly your father or a father figure. If you are facing a situation, it is a favorable enterprise. You may experience a cycle of unstable emotions. And I think for many of you, this is what that is. This is, in effect, what this Lovers is telling me here. Let's take a look at the Lovers card. A new love may enter your life unexpectedly. Your heart often rules your head. However, this time it may be worth the risk. Be aware that your decision may not set well with others. So take care with this choice, for it will affect you for a long time. There's a Tower card. Six of Swords. You will travel across water or move from one place to another. There could be visits from distant friends or family. Any move you make will be positive. Isn't that something? Queen of Pentacles. It says to spend wisely. You will gain personal and financial security only after a hard struggle. This card may symbolize a woman who manages money well and is a good advisor. So remember, I was talking to you, for some of you, this could be the idea that, you know, maybe your job may suddenly change. You may, yeah, sometimes it's about getting a promotion, the Tower card. It's not always something bad. So, you know, don't fear the Tower card, because it really is a way to, it's the universe's way of telling you you've been stuck in a rut and you need to do something about it. Okay? And if you can't make that decision, then sometimes the universe will make it for you. All right, the Tower card. Here it is. Devastating events will soon turn your life upside down. Someone who appears one way hides a very different inner personality, but it also tells you that events are out of your control. And I dare say, with just the two major arcana cards here, this is really about being grounded and being prepared as best you can. All right? Because you never know which way that tower is going to fall. Ace of Wands. Either way, it turns out perhaps better than you will have expected. So try not to fall into fear and negativity. Ace of Swords. Past efforts and thoughts directed toward change allow you to take on a new role or make radical changes in your lifestyle. I love when that happens. Even if it is like, what happened? Six of Wands. An important message will soon come to you in a dream or unexpected event. Courage and determination are necessary to win your way through opposition. I'm telling you guys, something's coming, and it could be associated with this eclipse that's coming up. And eclipses are designed to send you in a new direction. And typically what you will find is that around eclipses, it feels as though time has sped up. Things are moving quite rapidly. This wish card fulfills all of your deepest desires. There is success, triumph in everything you hope for. Now, I'm going to take a look at this Page of Pentacles, and I'm going to pull some cards. I'm going to pull cards on this Four of Cups, the Lovers, and the Tower to see what, and please keep in mind again, as I say, this is general, okay? It will not play out that way. It won't be good for everybody, all right? It may not be you getting your wish. It could be somebody else. You'll have to get a personal reading to figure that out. Now, Page of Pentacles. Good news concerning money is on the way. Pay attention to messages, particularly from dreams. Allow nature to bring healing and balance in your life. And underneath that is the Eight of Swords, which is quite interesting. So I'm going to read you this card. You have control of a tricky situation now, but could quickly lose control. Why? Because events are out of your hands. Discretion and diplomacy are needed, and you may feel unable to leave an unpleasant situation. But yet, it's a Swords card, and only you're being tasked to think carefully, be very prudent. But, you know, as I always say, there's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So you're just going to have to use your noodle. Now, I'm going to use Indovina Sibelius. I want to take a look at this Four of Cups, this Lovers, and this Tower card. And then I want you to be ready to formulate a question for the angel answer cards. Let's look at the Four of Cups. Chattering, the Consultant, and the Journey. Well, there it is. I think that some of you are in a position to where you've been discussing or talking or thinking about moving, about going some. There's lots of cards of movement in here, not necessarily in terms of what I'm looking at, but in terms of the meanings and the messages of the card. This chattering could be gossip, okay? But it could also just be that idea of you talking and not really doing anything about it. Why? Because you just, at this point, perhaps are not sure what it is you should be doing, okay? You know, but I'll tell you what, you know, if you don't make plans, you won't be doing squat, you know? And so this is not that jump up real quick kind of thing. This is slow, steady progress. All right. So let's look at the Lovers here. The Thief. Inconstancy. And a trap. So this tells me that some of you have been trying to decide whether or not you're going to leave this particular King of Cups, or the King of Cups has been trying to decide whether or not he's going to leave you or leave this particular situation. This is through some kind of loss or stealing, as it were, inconstancy, and it's a trap. I feel that perhaps maybe some of you have gotten yourself involved in a situation with either a earth sign female, or either in a money situation. Someone has given you bad advice and they have stolen some things from you. You can't seem to pin them down to get a real answer, and you are trapped in a situation right now, okay? But, you know, this Tower card with this Nine of Cups is saying, you know, instead of looking at it from a negative standpoint, you know, really, if this is somebody who's jerked you around and cheated on you or stolen from you or lied to you, you know, and they're out of your life, or you're trying to leave them, run. That's a liberation. Run, because as long as you're stuck in that situation, you're not going to be able to grab hold of this Nine of Cups. That's obviously trying to present itself to you. This Ace is simply an opportunity. Doesn't mean it's going to manifest, you know, on its own. the Tower card. A visit, a city house, and a pleasant pastime. Now, remember the meaning of that card said that there may be unexpected visits from friends. Let me read that to you again. It says you have control of a situation. No, that's the Eight of Swords. Let me read you this Tower card again. So I think that's there's somebody coming in. Devastating events will soon turn your life upside down. Someone who appears one way hides a very different inner personality. Events are out of control. So this could also be the idea or the concept that it's somebody that you think is shady, but they really aren't. Devastating events. This could be the mask crumbling on someone. Or you finding out that somebody is not what you thought they were, right? But even still, that's a freedom. You know, that, what were those three cards? The visit, the country house, and a pleasant pastime. Either you're going to go visit somebody or somebody's going to come and visit you. And you're going to have fun, but there's something about it perhaps that you need to be aware of, okay? So again, it's not that you can prepare. Sometimes a Tower card can be travel. It could be bad weather. It could be, you know, you made plans to go somewhere and then suddenly you find out you can't go. Maybe the plane is delayed, or maybe that person can't get free, right? Like I said, it's not always bad. All right, angel answer. Here we go. It says meditation brings answers. So if many of you are in a position where you're not quite sure exactly what it is you need to do, then, you know, meditation. Meditation is also prayer. Pray on it and send it up to the higher power. Trying to come up with an intellectual answer to your concerns hasn't been successful. That's because the solutions you seek can only be found by going within through meditation or inner spiritual work. You may also gather insights from your nighttime dreams as your subconscious creates solutions for you that are not available to your waking mind. 3 or 4 times dreams have been referenced, messages coming in through dreams. So try to pay attention to whatever your dreams are telling you. I had a very strange experience a few nights ago. My father passed away in 1998. He does not come when I call him, right? But he always shows up when something major is about to occur. And a new person entered my life, and you know, I'm approaching that person. I don't take things on face value. But in the dream, my father said to me, "You can trust him." And I said, "Oh, okay, whatever." And but as I said, I don't take things on face value. So I'm going to pay attention to that, but I don't have to make any moves or make any decisions. Well, the more I got to know about this individual, doing the research, the more I realized, oh no, and just told the person, you know, "I'm sorry, I can't go into X, Y, and Z with you." What my father said was, "You can't trust this person." Not you can trust them. He said, "You can't." I didn't hear it right, but I knew that of "you can trust him." That thing, that didn't just ring true. I heard it, but what he was saying did not ring true. So this is about paying attention to whatever dreams are coming up for you, and then waiting around to kind of see, you know, because it could really be, you know, an escape. Those devastating events, you can escape that, okay? So that's what I have for you. I hope those messages helped. And until next time, namaste. Don't forget, I think I'm going to be running a special, so get on over to the website and sign up for the newsletter. All right, bye-bye.